So here we go. It is May 9th. I know most kids would want to think that the school year's over, but it's not. Anyhow, so Rick and I got a couple more dates on the calendar. I'm actually headed right now, leaving home on a gorgeous day, the 9th day of May. You probably won't see this for a while, but I'm leaving home right now, and it is like 75 degrees out. Used to hate going to school in these days when I was a kid. But anyway, so I'm headed to Fonda, Fultonville, where we've been like 4 times this year with our message twice, but also our B.R.A.V.E.S program. And B.R.A.V.E.S kids, I'm coming after you. Gonna make a vlog out of our whole B.R.A.V.E.S program. Show everybody the amazing experience that kids can have, student leaders can have, as well as what we can do with this message. Sweethearts and heroes, and training kids to become sweethearts and heroes. So anyway, I'm headed to Fonda, Fultonville right now. We're gonna spend all day there tomorrow. It's a final day of the B.R.A.V.E.S program. They've been at it for about 8 weeks or so, and we're super pumped to put a closure to it so we can wrap it up and start offering it and giving it to people to change the world, the climate, the school that they're in. The great Mary Brown. Look at this. What do you got going on here?
It is the party for today.
The party for today. Whoa, you got like certificates and everything.
Cheese.
Hi. Mary, are you having a good day?
Just trying to get ready to be.
Okay, what can I do to help you?
Almost done.
Where are the cookies? Did you make the cookies?
No, we're doing Sundays. We're doing
no
Sundays.
Cookies.
No cookies.
Mary's the cookie queen. She makes all the cookies for all the kids. So this must be the bully drill that we're going to do today at the final stage. It's body image. Body image. Great one for young ladies. Well, some people are just way too skinny. They need to eat more. So Lindsay and I were talking, and that was one of the challenges that she had to overcome as a young lady, was she was too skinny, and everybody told her for years. So I think,
it was compliments. Yeah, I think it's complex.
Yeah, it's like the girl that's too pretty, and everybody doesn't realize what she goes through via Hannah, i.e. Hannah. So now we have this nice little packet that was made today with the bully drill that we will be doing, and then there's the last day, right? And then there is this afternoon's celebration.
I give it to them the morning of because they forget what they're supposed to do. If I give them to it 2 days ahead, they lose it. So I give it to them that morning. Okay, I give the teachers actually had it on Monday, but they get it that day, and then they get the box.
What that day?
They get exactly what I gave you, the drill card
Right.
with the extra instructions, and then anything else I need to attach to it so they remember it. I try to staple it all together. I write their name on it, and I write the teacher's homeroom they're in, and then I basically, either I or the other students go out and pass it out to the kids, first thing before homeroom. And then when they get it, some of them can't show up, some of them do. It's like last week for my first period class, or my first grade class that came in, only 2 students could show up that day. So the teacher and the TA stepped in, they broke them. The one kid was, I think it was only one student actually, Gabe, who was Gabe Mormon, like one of my great superheroes, came in, said, I don't know what to do. They said, just do what you normally do, and then we'll help you break it into groups. We'll each take a group, so the teachers actually helped that day. So it's like, it's just, you know, it's just everyone kind of kicks in, and there's no set plan. The kids kind of know what they're doing, but it's just play. That's what makes it so like less stressful for them, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It is perfect just by the fact that they're just here and doing it.
Yeah.
So that's really the whole thing. As long as you got prep set up for it, they're good to go.
This just sits in the office?
That just sits in the office.
And they go and they grab it?
Yep, and they grab out whatever they want to use for that day, whatever, you know, works for them. Like we did one that was building, a building blocks kind of a thing last Monday, which they had run before, but in our session, they told us they had a really hard time without having actual building blocks. So during my meeting on Monday, my students went down and to the after-school program, borrowed their cardboard blocks, came back in, and Monday or Tuesday morning at 11, it ran so smoothly compared to the last time we ran it. So we worked out the kinks as we go. We kind of, you know, see what happens, see what works, and you know, sometimes it falls flat, and sometimes it just, they run with it. So, but they're all getting to be friends. They're all recognizing each other, and sometimes it's, you know, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. What she's done for their final kind of celebration is the little guys get these. These are their certificates that they go home with that show them the world's best superhero. Pretty cute. And then this is a thank you for the teacher, she says. Maybe she doesn't have them in there yet, but these are a thank you for the teacher. And the little guys get these. And then these are for your B.R.A.V.E.S trainer kids, Braves. And they get a lanyard that goes with it. So, hi.
Hi.
How do I get to the middle school office?
That way.
This way. Okay.
It's the third exit sign is right there is the middle school.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That's the office.
I'm gonna go get in trouble. You like that, huh? You got a little bit of spirit in you, huh? So I was down here looking for the great Dave Zadorian, and I see this amazing quote, right? Check this out. If you have a chance to accomplish something that will make things better for the people coming behind you, and you don't do that, you are wasting your time on this earth. Well, that's big time. Big time. Giant. Do you need some oxygen?
No, you can't do that.
Oh, it's you!
I gotta tell you something.
Tell me.
You are gonna love this.
Give it to me.
Remember you asked me, no, you can't do it. I'm not gonna be
What?
recorded.
Hey, we always do this. All right, I'll turn it off. Are you gonna tell me?
I will.
All right, I'll turn it off.
Isn't it, does that give y'all chills?
Does that blow your mind?
No, don't tape me.
I won't.
Does that give
I
y'all
promise.
chills?
Hey,
You want to see his picture?
Yes, I do.
Brandon.
What's up, man?
how you doing? Good to see you. Things going all right?
Amazing.
He's a Patriots fan.
What's going on over here? Are you doing inappropriate things on this computer? Huh? No, of course not. What are you working on?
Skills project.
Really? Is it boring?
Yes.
I would, if I was you, I wouldn't do it. You want me to?
Come on, stop.
All right. All you gotta do is ask. So I should leave you alone? All right, well, good luck. Keep it between the ditches. What's up? Hey, you. Lindsay, you got to meet this young lady.
Hi. I'm Lindsay. How are you?
Good, I'm Angelique.
So, she used to be a student here. Okay. This is Stacy.
Hi.
Right?
You're the one with the tattoo, right?
Yep.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Crazy, huh?
Wow.
Her husband has a giant one on his forearm. Yeah. I'm too chicken. I'm gonna get one.
Stop
You
it.
made me look bad. You made me look really bad.
Hey, Corey, how are you?
Pretty good. What's up,
How are you?
Pretty good.
Mr.
Mercy.
Mr.
Incredible.
Ah! Come on, dude. What, I gotta draw your map?
No, not at all.
Ladies, what's up?
Haven't seen you in forever.
I know, it's been forever. How are you? Hey, what are you eating? Did you see my picture yesterday?
No.
You didn't see my Facebook post?
No. I'm not a Facebooker.
Are they coming in?
I think so. They're like around.
Okay, last time a kid gave me attitude. I'm in a shower truck, but I don't know what to do, so I wore it. And then they finally.
Oh, see, that's brilliant. You modeled the behavior. Listen, whenever you need a kid to do something, don't tell them ever. You got to give that lesson to your teachers.
Wait, I want to wear it now.
See? You just learned something amazing. Ready to see you in action.
Alright. Here.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. What? You did?
Alright guys, what's the A? What's the B? What's the C? And how much time do you have?
What's D?
Alright, let's get in a line.
Yeah.
This is
We are. We're gonna do 8 groups.
8 groups.
Yeah, but we have to make sure we mix them up properly.
Alright, number your numbers, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Okay.
Okay. Does everyone remember the number? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. You don't say it, you know your number. Okay. Alright.
Okay.
Alright. So I've got number 1. Oh.
I'll take number 2.
I'll take number 3.
I'll take 4, 5, 6.
You want to be the boy and you want to be the superhero? And I'll be the So today's deal, what we're going to be doing, the bully makes fun of the target for being skinny or larger in size, short or tall. They say things that hurt the target, like they don't want them on their team for gym class because they look different, okay?
We're gonna start as the superhero. Do you guys want the scene to be in the locker room or gym class? Gym class? Okay. Alright, let's work on egg, okay? So, what, do you know what you're doing?
I'm going to be the victim and he's going to take me away.
Alright, so I'm gonna be the bully. You ready? You can't be on our team. You're way too short to play the game. So you gotta come in. That's a good job, guys.
Why are you so short? I mean, I can look down at you. It feels like I'm 4 feet tall. Why are you doing that? Because I can. Are you scared? Why? Because what did he ever do to you? Nothing. So then why do you care? So then that doesn't give me a allowance to bully him because he's an easy target. He's shorter than all of us. That was good. That was really good. Okay, yeah. Can I put my head up now? Okay, so let's just pause for a second. Sometimes the bully doesn't stop. So what are you going to do when that happens? Tell somebody? Yes. You go to adult, your parents, teacher, and you go and tell them. Adult. A dog, yeah, that's definitely one.
Yes, you get to be the bully. Yeah, that's my superhero. Alright, bully, go away. Leave our friend alone. That was good. I love the accent. Croissant tea.
Thank you everyone for your incredible work this whole semester. You've been amazing and so much fun, all of you. Thank you. So everybody give yourself a hand. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to thank our superhero trainers.
Okay. So boys and girls, you need to know that they gave up their free time or their class time to help and train you to be good superheroes. Do you think they did a great job? Yeah. They definitely did. So, Kelsey Denton. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Okay, so a couple people couldn't be here today that you're used to seeing. They went on a band trip, but I will make sure they get exactly the same thing for certificates for doing such a great job. Thank you, superheroes. Okay, so now our superhero trainers are going to thank you for doing a great job. So you're going to get a certificate and a superhero eraser and a superhero sundae. Okay, so come on up when your name gets called. Okay, as Lena. Sorry, Michelle. You just need to
And it's okay. To Mrs. Annikowski! Because she is our superhero.
It's not Sunday yet.
Oh, yeah.
You're lucky then. There you go.
Hi, we're over. I haven't said even Sunday yet, though.
You have lunch yet?
Yeah.
That's awesome, huh?
That's a myth. You're the best.
No, you are.
Okay. Hi. Hello.
Is it good?
Good.
Hey man, what's up?
Did you see the comeback I did? Okay, so someone was bullying Callie. They were like, "Well, you're so tall." And when I say hi to you, it's like, "Hi, Sky." And I'm like, "Well, it just makes it easier for her to reach for the stars."
Can I have
Brilliant.
my superhero trainer? Okay, so what you guys teach is so important. Thank you for that. So we would like to thank them. We're giving them certificates. Okay?
Our first superhero trainer, who I know personally from having him in class years ago, has truly used his powers to come out and pay it forward. I don't necessarily know if a couple years ago you would have stood up for yourself and been as confident in fighting those powers that you have today. So Julian, thank you so much. You've taught us to come. Brian has brought out so many positives, like really makes the kids reflect on why you had said this, why you had said that. So in the drill today, Brian, you want to talk about how one of your heroes turned their bully's put down into a really great positive, and it stunned our bully. Our bully was like, I got nothing now. I had nothing to say. What happened, Brian?
So we were doing a locker room drill, and the bully was making fun of how someone was so tall, and she said, I have to look up to the sky to see you. Why are you so tall? And the superhero came in and said, it just makes it easier for her to reach for the stars.
How cool is that? Has this worked or what? I have goosebumps right now. I really do, because it's not something that I think would have come out of our mouths or made that analogy.
But how honest was that?
It was awesome. It was awesome. And you helped us get there. So thanks, Brian. That was great.
And for you, sir. Thank you.
Nice. Bridget, this is like a perfect program for you. I have so much joy just in the fact that these guys have helped in my classrooms. And to see how they've taken, not weaknesses necessarily that they've had, but maybe not as much confidence to go out there and put themselves out there in these situations and help you guys work through them, right? So I think it's brought you out of your shell, and I'm so proud to have worked with you. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Bridget.
Can I just jump in real quick? So I was watching Bridget work with her group today, and I noticed her smiling and having a great time, and I was like, wow, I don't think I've seen Bridget smile that much. And I just really, you seem like you really enjoy what you're doing, so awesome job.
Absolutely. And Ryan, just, oh my goodness, and breath of fresh air. The kids come back every day and they're like, oh my God, I got to work with Ryan today. And he had said that my superpower could be my sense of humor. I make things very silly, and I giggle about a lot of things. So how do we turn that into a positive, right? How do we move forward and find those characteristics in these students that they only work 20 minutes twice a week with.
Absolutely.
But they've really started looking for those strengths and those positives in their personalities that are coming out in a short time. Great judge of character, Ryan. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your work. And Brianna, one of my softball girls, who comes to lunch with us. She's been coming since the beginning of the year to lunch and recess, and really started this program off from the, all right, I see a kid over here playing by themselves at recess, or always sitting by themselves at the lunch table. And she took to those kids and sat down with them, and the other students followed, right? So she's really been invested in this.
And leading by example.
And leading by example,
Absolutely.
you know? And so, Bree, we can't thank you enough. You're a great superhero trainer.
Okay, so for all of you, what a great job you have done. For volunteering, giving up your time. So thank you for that. Now what we'd like to do is thank you all, right, for your commitment and coming and really trying every single time when you walk in those doors. Okay, and I hope you walk away with something, like I said, I personally have, I hope you do too, and take it to other people. Because you now can change the world.
They were talking about you. You're the one that made that comment? Yeah. That's high end, man.
There you go. Come up.
Oh. Oh, you remember that? How did you remember that? Oh, wait a second. Hold this. Hold this for me.
I will.
No, wait. Hold on. Now watch. Hold on. Don't drop it.
I'm gonna be your new substitute.
How did you guys remember that?
Alright, so we have 4 groups this time, so remember the number I give you, okay? You're going to be a 1, okay? So you're going to be 2. You're going to be 4. Okay, we picked the hat. What do you guys want to pick the cake? Alright. Yep, Steph, find your body where to eat.
Yeah. Why are you so skinny? Why are you bullying my friend?
Dead. Action.
He did a few things that nobody else has done.
Good job. Good job. You were friendly. That was good. Very good.
You got it?
I'm the blocker of this thing on the jiggy.
Though, nice job.
How did you guys appeal there?
Okay, so what I need you guys to do is to help me thank those guys, the superhero trainers, okay, for helping us.
Thank you. We love you.
That's your razor. All right, superhero powder eraser.
Yay, Kennedy.
Nice job. My group a lot. Nice job. Nice job, Alyssa. Good job.
What did I get?
You did great today, buddy. I'm sorry, you did great.
Right.
Nice job, buddy.
So great job, everybody. Terrific job. Are you superheroes? So what would you like? You want chocolate syrup? All right. What kind of sprinkles do you want? Rainbow?
And I'm going to make one. I don't know if I'll get it done before the end of the school year.
It's completely changed, like with everyone and like the kids and everything.
Yeah.
Like we feel so much more comfortable with them.
Good, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to put this all together with you guys here before and now.
I wish it could go on for like weeks, like over summer, because it was like.
Well, we're
best
hoping.
friend of the day.
We're hoping. What grade are you in?
8th.
We're hoping next year. This is the truth. That this will turn into an actual class.
That would be cool.
So
That would be awesome.
and do it instead of missing stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love working with the kids.
Yeah. What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th.
11th. Okay. Well, maybe next year. Like I said, they're hoping to turn this into a class next year.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it really would, and it'll be a lot different.
Say hi to the ice cream club. Yeah, you too. Yeah. Are you ever gonna be on YouTube? Well, this is your last chance. Look at Ray as a goofball. I called her a goofball. I'm a YouTuber. This is yummy in my tummy. I ice cream to the ice cream on mine. Oh, it's okay. Not every day. I was in the camera. Hello.
Anybody else?
Hello.
No.
Wait, what was your favorite part of the village video, comment down below. Yeah, comment down below. Comment down. No, don't peace out yet.
So, let's say follow us.
Follow us on Instagram.
There you go.
Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to see more free hugs. Yeah. Again.
Hey, what does it mean to subscribe and turn on notifications?
There's this red thing that you have to click, and then it turns gray, and then there's a bell, and then you hit all, and then it pops up all of the videos.
Oh.
Look at this ice cream. Me too. No, buy it. What's up, my feet?
Don't you remember?
Whoa.
Has no ears and no nose.
I have a mustache.
So. No, this one. Yes. Hold on. Here. Can somebody feed me some ice cream? Turn that screen.
I'll put it on me. He's not baby. He's a baby. Oh my God. Can everybody smile? This away so home.
Cool. Beautiful.
My mom's all love it.
Oh, I bet she is. Ooh, bye.
Bye.
Were they just singing? What were they saying? Were you just singing?
Can you guys say your little chant again for him?
Bystander at my side, we're standing straight and tall. We're looking right ahead of me, I'm ready for the haul. When we're not talking at all. And bye, guys. Bye, and Mr. Incredible.
All right, guys, face forward.
Later, dude.
Speech. Yeah, okay, we don't need those.
I'll just tell you all this, that, you know, this kind of started in this room when, you know, we were asked to come and present for like a half an hour to the high school, and we really pushed back hard, and we said, no, we need more time than that, and they said, nope, too bad, and we presented to the high school for a half hour. We had already presented to the middle school. And some high schoolers were so impacted by it that when Mary and I had a discussion about moving the program forward, they said, well, no, come back and do your regular presentation for the high school. And then I said, well, I'm also working on another thing that I think this would be a great school to pilot in. And it just happened. And this is 8 years. How old are you? All 16, 17? Right? So you were all 8 years old. 6 years old when we started this Sweethearts and Heroes message. We were like those first graders. And this is really 8 years that's come together into kind of this B.R.A.V.E.S program. And this is just the beginning. It's just the surface being scratched in this program, in this motto of B.R.A.V.E.S. And we didn't even plan on calling it B.R.A.V.E.S, but it just happened to work out perfectly. So it's meant to be. Okay. So, I'm excited about the future.
Yeah, me too. Amazing, fun. I'd do it again.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Tachio came up to me during lunch. He said that Gianna, like every single day that we had the bully drill, she was excited and came on. She's like, we did the bully drills today. And I was like, really?
Teachers, I mean, did you guys get that at all from your students? Or did they respond at all or say they look forward to it? Or
Oh, absolutely. We had to cancel twice for state assessments, and I'm like, just remember, you're coming here after recess. We're not going to the multi-purpose room. There's no Sweethearts and Heroes Day. And they're like, oh, like they were frustrated with that. When I think about accomplishments, I'm like, what did we accomplish? What came out of this? And I really think for the high school students that we worked with, I just think that it brought a lot of them out of their shells. From what I remember them as 5th graders or 6th graders in my classroom to where they are today. I don't know if it's solely this or partial maturity as well, but to see them take on that leadership role and be that teacher for these younger students and that positive role model was huge for me. The other thing, at least for my 6th graders, was just the fact that it happened. I saw it more than just the 20 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays that we were working. It was carrying over into their interactions in the hallway. It was carrying over into their discussions in class, and with their 1/4 of the 6th grade class actually did the program, so it carried over into recess and into lunch and into their interactions with their peers. So to me, that's a huge accomplishment.
I think we should do another one to bring in more people, because I think it's a good program. Once people get into it and once it flows smoother, I think we'll get more traffic and more people will want to join. And I think one way to do it would be bring in a bunch of high schoolers who put their names into the box, and bring everyone who put their name into the box into a bully drill and say, okay, this is what you do and this is how awesome it is. Because once you do it, then you're like, wow, this is awesome, glad I signed up for it. So somehow letting everybody get a taste of it.
Number one, they said they loved it. They loved the message. They loved the message of empowerment. It was more than just how do we help kids that may be bullied, because to me it's so generic at this point. You know, it's more about empowering kids to assist other kids and how to do that and feel confident doing it. So that's the feedback that I got from it. They thought it was done in a fun, exciting way. So in my follow-up conversations, it was with staff, it was, man, that was good stuff. I wish we had more of it. The students, I knew we'd get more. So once I knew that we had the entire school behind it, and I saw it, and it's not about the presentation time, it's about the personalities that come with it and the passion that comes with it and the connection that people can make to the experience, because that's what they'll remember, I think, when they're presented with a situation or a moment where they've got to make the decision. They're going to remember back to the experience when it was first introduced to them in this kind of way. That's what I was able to play on with my students. The hope is huge. I was able to relate that to our hallways. You see a kid with a sweatshirt on that's a cool color, tell them about it. Tell her about it. That may be the hope that kid needs throughout the course of the day. I was able to do that with our staff that sometimes lose sight of the individual stories that our kids come with. And in you guys coming in, you and Rick coming in and presenting that, it really brought out into the conversation what we all know, but sometimes get lost because of the academics of our day-to-day. That's what my conversation was when I post first presentation. Well, if we're talking pilot, I'd say success, because in my eyes, a pilot is something that you're trying new. You've got a basic framework knowing that you're going to have to adjust along the way to make it so it's something sustainable. Then it loses that kind of the title of pilot. So with what we have done, what Mary has led us with, it's a success, because we've taken the idea, and that started to make me think of it. It pointed out some of the challenges along the way for our kids, our high school kids, the superheroes, that they try to pack. So what makes a lot of our Fonda kids just super is that they maximize the amount of time they're here. There isn't a whole lot of sit down and waste the day away. So how do we embed something that is great, that will enhance their superhero abilities in a way that keeps them as great as they already are and makes them feel that they're not just overwhelmed. So I thought, because I could see kids coming out, I knew Mary was working her tail off to get this thing to continue, not only because her belief in it, but also we've got to commit to the little ones now. And you want the little ones to see that, like, hey, they keep coming back. They'll do what they're told because their teachers guide them. At the high school level, our kids had a little bit more freedom to take a role in this. So how could I do that as a building leader to maximize it? And it has led from pilot to now I want to make it a class. I want to make this thing into a credit-bearing elective class that can grow, that is, because it presents something different each and every day, the curriculum is constantly changing. So it doesn't matter that if you take it as a 9th grader, a 10th grader, 11th or a 12th. It's something that can grow upon each year.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind has been. I see. What I then see is our little ones moving up on, just like you would in a sports program. Like you go to a game, you're excited, and you're like, I want to be that. You know, like I go to the camps over the summer so I can be that. I want to be, that's the excitement that I saw. So when I go around and I talk to my son, I talk to his buddies that are in that 3rd grade class, they're the questions that I throw out at him. Just think about this. When you guys walk across that stage and I hand you your high school diploma, you are going to be the first that did something like this. There aren't many people that can say that they were the first of anything in life. You were the first ones of this in our school. So then we just have a little conversation, we get silly about it, and then it's, you know, maybe they forget about it in 10 minutes, but they won't, because we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep going back. What I would love for this to evolve into, Tom, and I've told Mary this, and I think we can do this once we develop it into a class, is true drills. You've made the reference to fire drills. You've made the reference to all these other drills that happen when you don't plan for it.
Yes.
I want these kids, our high schoolers, to be able to sneak around in their superhero costumes, to jump out into recess, to jump into the classroom, to jump into the lunchroom and go, all right, we got a situation, boom, 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 boom. And now because we've hit every grade level in the school, people are excited. They're up and, yes, I'll do it. I know what we can do. And then boom, they're in and out, 5 minutes, in and out, done. They're walking out, running out in their superhero costumes. They come back to the class, they process it. That's exciting to me.
Yeah.
All of that, I think, builds the hope from the people, for the people that are involved, and also the bystanders that are looking at going, I got to be a part of this. I got to be a part of it. And I think the most important part of it for me is that, you know, we've, as a former athlete, as a leader, nobody knows what leadership is anymore. And I think for the high school student, it became a section on an application that you fill out to write down accomplishments. That's not leadership. Yeah. Leadership can be done through action, through words, through one or the other, through a multitude of ways. And the biggest thing that I saw our kids lacking, at nobody's fault but maybe society's, is the fact that they didn't know how to step up and take a leadership role. Sometimes,
and what does that mean?
So for me in a high school, that means you see the kid that may need a little bit of assistance. You see a kid struggling to carry their books down the hallway. You see a kid getting picked on. It can run the gamut of extremes. I want them to recognize when to step in and do something, because anything is better than nothing. And they don't know it. You can't fault them for something that they don't know. So in my conversations that I have with them all the time, it's just that. You have to do something. We'll see if it works. You'll only know by the outcome. If it doesn't, then we make an adjustment. You change it. But the effort has to be there for anything to be successful in life. I think all that. And that's a lot of stuff. But that's kind of how my mind wraps around everything that we've done. And this is the perfect community for that. Yeah. You know, I think the setup environmentally, architecturally, everything about the buildings is set up to build this model. Our community is set up because we're based on just pride, nothing else other than, listen, I'm going to pull up the bootstraps and I'm prideful of accomplishing something. That's huge. It's absolutely huge.
You know, I already see a transformation. I mean, I have a little bit of a different perspective because my daughter is in one of the classes, so I can ask her all kinds of things. I see benefits on both sides that, you know, maybe other people don't see. They might see that, oh, the high school kids go down and help the little kids out. But what I see is I see high school kids feeling empowered. And I see them feeling like they are truly making a difference in the lives of these little kids. And when you start to feel like you've got purpose and you've got a reason to be out there doing something, that changes everything for you. And I think some of the kids that are involved in this, they're not involved in a lot of clubs. So it's interesting to me that some of the kids that gravitated to this are some kids that might be a little introverted, you know, when it comes. Some kids, of course, are all in everything. But what I see is those kids saying, as I see them down the hallway, I've got something that I have to make sure that I set the example now. I got to make sure that when I walk around, I'm practicing when I'm preaching, and they've got a circle of friends. who see the same thing, and now they want to be part of this. So as we talked about for next year, is there a potential to put it in our elective package where, you know, kids who want to be part of this can be part of it? Because I think that's the way to sustain it.
For sure.
And then on the other end, you've got the young kids who idolize, and they are their superheroes.
That's right.
Those high school kids, no matter if they had a cape or not, and they come in the classroom, and now, to be honest, Mr. Grady and Aaron and I have talked about this for the last 3 years. Kids don't want to get involved if it's not hurting them.
Yeah.
And I notice that in everything, no matter where I go, no matter what I do. Oh, has nothing to do with me. I'm going to kind of get away from that. We want kids to say, and we're talking great kids that are stellar character, they just don't want to get involved. Or if they know something's going to happen, they don't stop it.
Sure.
And what I'm seeing, this is what we have to teach our young kids, that empowering them that you can be a support to your friend. You can stop some of these. Sure. The bully can become the one who's on the island all by themselves because now everybody's educated on how to stop you. And the bully knows that because he's seeing all these drills going on.
Yeah.
So I see that transformation in those small clusters of classes that they're doing it in, and I only know that because my daughter talks to me about it. And talking with Marcy Carey in first grade, same thing. You know, kids are starting to talk about things when they happen in the classroom.
Interesting.
So I see it as, you know, there's some unintended consequences maybe we didn't see, which is the way the high school kids see themselves now. And especially those kids that maybe didn't have that self-image that, you know what, I got a purpose here. I've got a mission. And that's great to see.
Yeah. That's amazing. So what do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. My kids love it. You know, I have a couple squirrelies. We all do in 6th grade, you know, and initially it was kind of breaking down like those borders, you know, like I'm so cool, I'm not gonna wear a cape, I'm not gonna put these silly glasses on. But it was really just their hardcore shell, you know, so it kind of broke them down a little bit. And taking on the role of the bully and then being the target, it really opened their eyes up. So it was good. I think that 6th grade's a good age.
It's not too old?
No, I don't think so.
We worried about that.
I don't think so. I definitely think that to change people's outlooks and people's perspectives and those bystanders, I definitely think that we need to get them when they're younger.
Yeah. So I guess it's more for you to talk about how you feel, what your experience was, and the stuff that like, it really didn't work. Didn't think this was very good.
We did. I mean, we feel like it was. There was an issue at the beginning, and knowing now, I feel like next year I would talk to them beforehand, but we had a few kids that were very uncomfortable being the bully. Like, to the point where one of them had to be the bully to one of their best friends, and he's absolutely not. He would not do it. So even though he was playing a role, it still made him very uncomfortable.
Interesting.
So we had a very good conversation about why do you feel that way? Why is it hard to be the bully? And I wish that I had taped that conversation because just out of the mouth of babes, like some of the things that they said and they felt really bad. Being mean to somebody, even though they knew it was just for play, they were uncomfortable still doing that. So once we talked about it and realized, okay, we're just practicing so we can see, because sometimes we say things that are maybe bully-like, even though we don't mean them to be. In real life, like we've been trying to talk to them more like, okay, here we're playing. The bully's wearing a silly hat, you know, you have a cape on. In real life, when you're on the playground, what's it gonna look like? And when do you know to step in? Because you're playing here and they're telling you what to do. But how are you going to know what to do when this actually happens to you in real life? So we've been kind of talking more about that when we do our review at the end of the day after it. And some of them I feel like are understanding the way to carry it over. Others kind of, it's just a game. Yeah. You know, and I do have a couple in my classroom that I feel kind of are those bullies. Yeah. It's not sinking into them. Yeah. So I guess my question is, how do we get it to kind of sink in more? Yeah. You know, and maybe there isn't an answer to that yet. Maybe because they're 6 years old. Yeah. I don't know, but.
Well, I think the spaced repetition and practice over and over and over again for longer periods of time. I mean, I would turn it back on you and say, they know how to stop, drop, and roll. You're going to light their clothes on fire to see if it works. Right. You know, are you really going to do that? No. But we hope that the practice that they do over and over and the fire drill, you just hope that if there ever is a fire someday, that they're gonna look for the exit sign, they're gonna line up, they're gonna be orderly and not push each other and trample each other.
Right.
What else?
All we wrote down was, like I said, discussing the bully thing before we start and how when it might you feel and what does it look like when there's not costumes. Those were really our only two. Everything else I felt like it was age appropriate. The kids the high school kids were great. There was one in particular that was amazing. He was the only one that showed up.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about a young lady that blew my mind.
No, we only had a couple girls actually. There was more boys during our section.
What was his name? Gabe. Okay.
Yeah, I talked to Mary about him yesterday.
Good.
2 days, whenever it was, Tuesday. Yeah, he was great, and
I got to learn his backstory now.
Yeah, she actually told me that he wasn't one of the original kids. She went to him and said, "Would you be interested in doing this?" And he's awesome. Basically after every single one. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But go ahead, after every single one.
I basically said to him, thank you so much, because the kids they liked coming a lot. They were, when do we have our next one? When is our next one? What day do we go? And it was always Tuesday, Thursday, but still, then a couple weeks because of testing we didn't come. So they were like, when's our next one? When's our next one? They're going to be sad today. They're going to be sad.
So they really look forward to it.
They really look forward to it.
Wow. So what do you have to say about all this?
I love it.
What does that mean?
I think the kids don't
All right. I'll respect that.
I feel like, we talk about this all the time about, so not every parent is going to bring their child up to have those kind of values, right? Yeah. So, we have conversations with the teachers all the time, we can only control what's here, what we have them for 6 hours. Well, I think we can control more than that. So, research is pretty clear that stuff that they learn at school, whether it's academic or behavioral, they will carry with them if we instill that in them starting in pre-K. So we talk about that all the time, the behavior piece, that we as a building are not going to tolerate that meanness. I'm not saying you can't have little fights here and there with your friends and that stuff's going to happen, but being downright mean and bullying kids it's not going to be tolerated. Not here. If it's happening at home, we'll have conversations at home. We get involved with that kind of thing. If I have a kid coming to me saying in the neighborhood this is happening, we try to intervene and get involved, because it's important. It's important for them to understand and not just tell them, but this is the piece that I feel like is missing, is show them. Yeah. Show them how. Show them why. Yeah. Show them how it feels to be bullied. Yeah. And to feel that way and to feel, like you're not good enough. That's not, I always say pre-K through 2, our goal is to have them love school and want to be here, and they're not going to want to be here if they're coming to school feeling this way for whatever reason. So I think it's a huge piece that should be in every school and should be part of the first thing you do, because if we're not socially and emotionally ready to learn, who cares about that math lesson or that reading lesson?
Amen.
And I think, again, just like anything else, we talk early intervention. It's the same thing for the behavior piece. So if this is something that we value and we teach, we have 54 kids in pre-K. That's 54 kids that are 4 years old that we teach these values to right away. And it's I think it's more difficult, just like it's more difficult to teach a kid how to read in 3rd grade. Same thing. We try to teach kids these values in 3rd grade, which hopefully we get it. But if we start it in pre-K, then that culture will just always be part of who we are.
Yeah.